What's good, everybody? Rhetorical question, life. My name is Heavy Bree, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your 403rd time, and if you're brand new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm recording this video on a Friday. It's Friday morning. About 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 something in the morning. Just got off work, walking home right now, just chilling right now. So I was like walking, right, and right as I was getting out of work, one of my coworkers, he had on a shirt, and on the shirt it said, "Why would I seek validation in a world that crucified God's son?" Now, I'm gonna say that again. The shirt said, I'm paraphrasing, but like the shirt said, why would I seek validation in from a world that crucified God's son? Now, I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a part of any denominations or anything. I don't follow religion and everything, but I do believe in God, and I believe that I saw bro's shirt and I saw what it said. I was thinking, like, you know what, man, I told him, I was like, bro, if you weren't valid, God wouldn't have put you here if you weren't valid. Every single person on this earth, every single person who was born and put on this earth, was put here for a reason. Think about it. Out of like a million little sperm, you were the one that was chosen by God to be on this earth. Think about just really think about that for a second. Think about all the times your father, during puberty. Think about all these times, he, splooged into a sock. Think about all the used condoms, all of the dirty rags and filthy socks that your brothers and sisters, your unborn brothers and sisters, were wasted off into. And like that's how. And like, it's a miracle that you aren't in a sock. It's a miracle that all of us weren't swallowed or flushed down the toilet or laid out on some dirty motel sheets at a Motel 6. But I'm just saying, man, like, I'm just saying, bro, like, sorry, it's kind of loud out here. Yeah, I'm saying, it's a miracle that you're here, bro. God put you here because you are valid. No matter what you're going through in life, no matter how hard life gets you, no matter how, unfair things you feel like the world is, just remember, man, you were chosen to be here. You are valid. It got dark for a second. Yeah, like it got dark again. Hold on, let me see. Okay, that's better. Yeah, you are valid. You were chosen to be here on this earth by God. And no matter how hard life gets, how hard life gets. Oh, the Sweet Sweeper's coming back around. Let me pause it real quick. And we're back. So yeah, now there's a street sweeper going by. I don't want to like record the video and talk over the street sweeper, like having a shout match with a street sweeper. But yeah, man, like, you were chosen to be here, bro. Your existence is valid, So you should not have to seek validation from nobody in this world, in this life, right? Because it's like, you've already been validated by God. Whether you believe in God or not, you've been validated. The fact that you are alive is a miracle. The fact that you weren't, dispersed by your father during puberty or, in his wild 20s or whatever, man. The fact that you weren't, I don't want to like get too touchy, but the fact that you weren't aborted is or plan B is a miracle in that of itself. So when you sit around, you know, worrying about life, worrying about people not liking you, worrying about, you know, that whether that person likes you or that girl likes you, or yeah, so when you're worrying about people not liking you, people not caring about you, bro, honestly, dude, it's like that's kind of a good thing, man, because sometimes certain people not being in your life is sometimes a blessing in disguise. That person might have baggage, that person might feel some type of way, or worse, that person might act like they like you and really just not give a damn about you, and like kind of like want to just, you know, see your downfall. I'm not trying to be all paranoid and everything, but you know, some people are like that. Not everyone is like that, but every now and then you'll run into a person who is not okay with themselves, and when they see a person who's okay with themselves, it makes them feel some type of way, you know? Because people always, you know, hate what they envy. You know, whatever they're missing in themselves, if they see it in someone else, they're gonna feel some type of way, you know? That's just how it always is. That's why I have my theory about, you know, certain people who hate on other people, because those people have what they don't have, you know, or what they think. Yeah, I don't know. The Sweet Sweeper just did a whole U-turn and did some other stuff. I don't know, man. At this point, I think the Street Sweeper is trolling me, but that could just be my paranoia. But yeah, man, like, you know, so like understand that your existence, your place on this earth is all the validation you need in this life. Don't go looking for praise or, you know, validation or approval from people who don't already approve of you, you know? Because in this life, in this world, people are always going to treat things that they don't understand with disdain, you know? And even if they did understand whatever it is they're trying to understand, that doesn't mean they always accept it, because one of the main things that's holding us back, that's holding people back from just, you know, being equal amongst each other, loving one another unconditionally, and just letting people and being at peace with others, is a lack of acceptance. Because you can understand something all you want, but that doesn't mean that you have to like it or accept it. Like in my life, I've understood. I understood a lot of things throughout my life. I've understood a lot of things for a long time, but I didn't start accepting those things that I understood until like much later in life. You know, like I understand that some people aren't always gonna like me. I understand I'm not always gonna get what I want when I need it or when I want it. I understand that sometimes that the world is not fair. But as I get older, as I grow through these seasons, as I reach a new season, every other season or so, I always begin to accept those things. See, I've understood a lot of things for a long time, but I didn't start to accept them until much later in life, you know? So, you know, like believe it or not, for a long time, I didn't accept God for a long time, you know? I understood what God was, what God is, but I didn't really start accepting God until much later in my life, when I was in a darker place and I had like these negative thoughts towards myself that would have led to some more negative things and everything. But now I'm at that point in my life where I accept God in my life, and I accept my purpose and my place in this world, you know? And sometimes our place in this world isn't with everyone around you, or at that job, or in that city, or in that group, or like doing that thing that you're doing that isn't helping you or pushing you towards your purpose or towards a content life, a life that is content. You know, some people say a life that is happy. I say you should look for a life that makes you content, where you look around your surroundings, you see what you're doing every day, and you can gladly look at it and be like, you know what, this is fine. Kind of like that puppy in that meme. This is fine, when there's fire all around them. I'm not saying like if your life is a dumpster fire and everything, you should definitely get up out of there. But if you can look at your life, your day to day, and look at it and be like, you know what, I'm cool with this. I'm cool with what I got. That's called being content. You know, because happiness is an emotion, and you know, emotions come and go. And when you try to hold on to an emotion, you know, it's just gonna like just wear you down, you know, because we're not meant to be sad all the time. We're not meant to be happy all the time. We're not meant to be angry all the time, or just, because when you try to hold on to emotions, all that's gonna do is just make you miserable, and then also make you a fiend, you know. And if you don't believe me, look at every single person that does hard drugs like meth and crack and heroin. You know, they're all seeking that feeling. They're all seeking a feeling, you know, because they don't feel that way naturally. So I would say, don't look to be happy. Don't look to feel full of joy all the time. Look to be content. And content is just looking about your surroundings, looking at your life, and being all right with what you got. But if you look around your life and you look around what you got, and you're not okay with what you got, and you're not content with what you got, then you have the power and the ability and the resources to make the changes required to live a life and obtain the life that will make you content, and you know, that will just make you content. I don't know. I was gonna say something else, but I forgot what I was gonna say. This whole video has just been freestyle. I'm just freestyling off the top of my dome. Not like a rapper, but just like I didn't write this thing. As you could tell, I'm stammering and everything. But you know what though? This is a process, you know? This whole YouTube thing that I'm doing is all a process. And like sometimes you gotta like just post it, you know, because like, you know, you can't be afraid to do the thing that you want to do. You know, you can't be afraid to you can't be afraid to so I'm watching this light because I'm like walking across the street right now, and this light is kind of dodgy sometimes. It's green going that way, but sometimes it turns red and everything. My face is at a but anyway, this whole YouTube thing that I'm doing right now, it's all a process, and I accept that in the beginning it's going to be kind of rough. I'm going to experiment with some stuff. I'm going to record videos that I'm going to look back on probably years later and be like, bro, what was I thinking, man? Why didn't I use a proper camera? Why didn't I write a script? But I accept, you know, the fact that, sorry y'all, the street sweeper is following, man. The street sweeper is following me, man. I swear, bro, that's the 5th time I done seen the street sweeper, man. Every time I've been pausing this video, it's because the street sweeper keeps coming out of nowhere, you know. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, man. But that concludes the rest of this video. I appreciate you guys watching and, like, you know, liking the video, watching the video. To those who subscribed, I appreciate every single last one of you who subscribed. And just remember, man, this world is not a fair place. But that doesn't mean that we have to be unfair people. That doesn't mean that we have to be unfair. That doesn't mean that we have to be unaccepting of others and just life and everything. Bro, just validation is something that you should never seek to do. You should never try to do anything for validation. Whether it's like, changing your outfits, talking a certain way, buying things to impress people who don't even really care. Bro, just it got dark again. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up because the next few feet that I walk is gonna be dark too. So I'm gonna just clock it out right here. I appreciate every single last one of you watching my video. I hope I hope y'all have a great Friday. Thanks for giving me like a portion of your time. Peace and blessings. Have a prosperous day and happy Friday.